My boss had a new boyfriend named Eugene Larson. The first day he showed up at the office, he made it his mission to mark his territory. He literally deleted my number from my boss's phone. Right in front of me. Eugene waved his phone in my face, acting all innocent. "Hey, anything you need to tell Tina? Just run it by me first, Mr. Sanders. I'll pass it along." I get a little insecure. So don't take it personally. Just trying to avoid any misunderstandings. You know, I was hoping my boss, Nina Caden, would back me up. But nope. She just stood there gazing at Eugene like he hung the moon. Then she turned to me and said, "Sounds like a solid plan, Mr. Sanders. Make sure you look after Eugene." Okay. What was I supposed to say? I had no choice but to add Eugene to my contacts. Big mistake. The second he got my number, my phone blew up. "Mr. Sanders. That client you're meeting tomorrow, Charleston. Is that a guy or a girl? Where's the meeting? And hey, dress down tomorrow. Maybe skip washing your face and hair. I don't want to think you're trying to hit on my wife. I know you and Tina are just coworkers. Don't stab me in the back. I'm treating you like a bro here. Oh, one more thing. New job for you. Remind Tina every 30 minutes to text me that she loves me." I read these ridiculous messages and laughed out of pure frustration. I put my phone on silent, tossed it aside, and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up to dozens of missed calls. My heart dropped. I called back immediately, thinking something serious had happened. The second the call connected, Eugene's voice exploded in my ear. "Andrew Sanders, what the hell were you doing last night? Why didn't you pick up? Were you sneaking around? Where'd you sleep? Turn on your location right now. I swear if I find out you were making moves on Tina behind my back, I'll end you." I was speechless. I'm the general manager of this company, not his personal babysitter. I kept my cool and replied flatly, "Mr. Larson, I don't report my personal life to you. If you have questions, ask Miss Caden. What I do after work is my own business. I can be wherever I want. You don't get a say in that." Eugene scoffed. "If you won't tell me where you are, you must be hiding something. I'll have my wife fire you." "Mr. Larson." I couldn't help firing back. "Keep calling Miss Caden your wife. Are you two actually married? I'll take responsibility for any work mistakes. But if you're trying to fire me, just because I won't play along with this nonsense, that's not gonna fly." He didn't even listen. "Just tell me, what were you doing when you ignored my calls?" I was done arguing. It was night time. I was sleeping. What else would I be doing? Sleeping? His voice shut up. Like he caught me red-handed alone. "Where do you live? You didn't secretly move near Tina, did you?" "I don't care. Send me your location right now or you're gonna regret it." I couldn't take it anymore. I sent him my location just to shut him up. It worked. Minutes later, he texted me again, totally different vibe this time. "My bad, bro. I overreacted. Tina's just so amazing. I'm always scared someone's gonna steal her. We cool? Take some pics of Tina for me at your meeting later, okay?" I rolled my eyes so hard. I swallowed my frustration, got ready, and rushed to the office. Here's the deal. Eugene was some college kid Tina had been seeing. Once he found out she owned her own company, he showed up to stake his claim. But this guy must have watched too many soap operas. He treated every male employee like a rival. And me as Tina's college classmate and the GM, who helped build this company from scratch. I was public enemy number one in his eyes. Watch me like a hawk. Completely clueless that I only cared about one thing: making money. Dating was the last thing on my mind. At 9 a.m., Tina and I were in the meeting room at Kent Charleston's office, prepping our notes. We had 30 minutes until our 10 a.m. appointment, when my phone started blowing up. The notifications echoed through the quiet room. Tina shot me a look. "Keep your phone on silent during meetings." Do I really need to tell you that I checked my phone? Of course. All Eugene. "You in the meeting room, bro? Met Mr. Charleston yet? Send me a pic. I need a full body shot of you too. Gotta make sure you're dressed right. You're with Tina, right? Why isn't she texting me back? Tell her to check her phone now." I felt a vein throbbing in my temple. I took a deep breath and turned to Tina. "Miss Caden, your boyfriend's trying to reach you." The second she heard boyfriend, she grabbed her phone and walked out without a word. I just stood there stunned. Kent was about to arrive and she picked now to text her boyfriend. 2 minutes later, Kent and his secretary walked in. He frowned at the empty chair beside me. "Where's Miss Caden?" Kent was old school. A 50-something industry legend who valued punctuality and professionalism. He was clearly annoyed. I smiled. Quickly made up an excuse and jumped right into the presentation. After 30 minutes of pitching, Kent was nodding along. Things were looking good. That's when Tina strolled back in. Totally calm, sat down next to me and asked how things were going. When she heard we'd nailed it, she looked relieved. She started discussing contract details with Kent, while I slipped out to grab some water in the break room. I checked my phone, over 100 messages. Dozens of missed calls, all Eugene. Before I could even read them, another call came in. I hung up. He called again. I hung up again. He kept calling. Finally I gave in and answered. Eugene exploded. Andrew Sanders. Are you seriously ignoring my calls again? What are you hiding? I was barely holding it together. I told you I'm in a meeting. This is a multi-million-dollar deal. Can you handle the consequences if you screw this up? Eugene just scoffed. Can you handle it if Tina and I have a fight? And it messes with her work? I had nothing to say. This guy's brain operated on a whole different wavelength. Before I could respond, he pushed harder. Turn on your camera. I want to see where you are and who's around you. Show me everything 360 degrees. I was at my limit. I gripped my phone and tried to stay patient. I'm in a meeting. Mr. Larson. Can you stop with the drama? If you need something, contact Miss Caden. I'm a manager, not a messenger service for you too. Turn on the camera, do it and I'll believe you. Otherwise, you're lying. Fine. I had nothing to hide. I turned on the camera and pointed it at the meeting room door I just walked out of. See? I told you I was in a me-AAA. Andrew Sanders, you piece of crap. You're trying to have an office romance with Tina, don't even think about seducing her while I'm around. That was it. I hung up. Deleted him from my contacts and blocked him on everything after that. I looked at my clean home screen. Even the air felt fresher. Back in the meeting room, Tina and Kent were chatting happily. Looked like they were about to sign. Kent picked up the contract and smiled at Tina. A lot of big companies wanted this project. Some offered more money than you. But we go way back. And I trust working with people I know. Especially Mr. Sanders here. He's sharp, professional, and capable. Good help like that is hard to find. The compliment wasn't about stroking my ego. It was recognition of my work. Tina looked relieved and started returning compliments. Just as Kent was about to sign, the door slammed open. Kent's secretary was trying to hold back Eugene, who had barged in like a maniac. He looked apologetic. I'm so sorry. Mr. Charleston. This gentleman says he's Miss Caden's boyfriend. And insisted on supervising the meeting. I couldn't stop him. Before she could finish, Eugene shoved her aside, stormed toward me and slapped me across the face. Slap. The sound echoed through the silent room. Everyone froze. I touched my burning cheek and stared coldly at Eugene. His face was covered in tears. His eyes swollen like he'd been crying the whole way here. But he acted like Hachi was the victim. Tina rushed over to him. Panic, Eugene. What are you doing here? Before answering, Eugene scanned the room suspiciously. Kent standing there, the PowerPoint still on screen. Documents spread across the table. Everything screamed normal business meeting. Realizing he'd messed up, Eugene switched to poor little me mode. Grabbed Tina's hand, looking pitiful. I texted you and you didn't reply right away. I got worried something happened to you. He glanced at me timidly and added. Mr. Sanders blocked me and wouldn't text back. He hasn't been nice to me at all. The more he talked, the sadder he sounded. His eyes turned red as he kept mumbling. I'm sorry and I didn't mean to. I was doing everything I could to hold back my anger. Before I could speak, Tina suddenly grabbed my arm. You apologized to Eugene. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Miss Caden. I'm the one who just got slapped for no reason. So what? Tina frowned, acting like I was the problem. You know how sensitive and insecure Eugene is. Why didn't you text him back? That's your failure. And I never told you to block him. Why would you do that? If Kent hadn't been standing right there, I would have thrown those documents in both their faces. I forced myself to stay calm. Then projected my phone screen onto the big display. Hundreds of Eugene's ridiculous messages filled the screen. Demanding my location, telling me how to dress. Ordering me to remind Tina to say I love you to him. Eugene went quiet and looked away. Tina stared at the screen. Done. Tell me. Miss Caden, I said. My voice cold but clear. Are you saying I should have blown a multi-million-dollar deal? Just to babysit your boyfriend? I paused. Are you his girlfriend or am I? Tina's face turned red and she tried to change the subject. Watch your tone, Andrew. How dare you talk to me like that? Do you even want to keep your job? Then she started spouting nonsense. Sure, the contract matters. But Eugene matters more. You're a senior member of this company. My right-hand man. Isn't it your job to handle both the business and my personal life? I had nothing to say. You can't reason with unreasonable people. And Eugene noticed Tina wasn't focused on him anymore. He cranked up the drama. He tugged on her hand. Voice trembling. Stop, Tina. I know Mr. Sanders doesn't like me. He's probably had a thing for you for ages. And got jealous when we got together. That's why he's been mean to me. He started walking toward the door acting devastated. I'll just go. Nobody cares about my feelings anyway. Then he ran out crying. Tina didn't even glance at me or at Kent and chased after him. That left me, Kent. His secretary, standing in awkward silence. Kent looked furious. He laughed coldly. I didn't realize Miss Caden valued her boyfriend more than $1 million deal. Is this how your company shows sincerity? His warmth was gone. We need to reassess your company's capabilities. That's enough for today. You can leave. A wave of frustration hit me. I was the only one who knew how many sleepless nights I'd spent perfecting this proposal, how many times I'd reviewed every detail. How many personalized gifts I'd sent Kent to build our relationship. All of it destroyed by a lovesick boss and her control freak boyfriend. My eyes went cold. If Tina wasn't going to act right, she couldn't blame me for what came next. As Kent turned to leave, I called out. Please wait, Mr. Charleston. He turned curious. I took a deep breath and pulled another set of documents from my bag. Handing them to him. Take a look at this contract. Mr. Charleston. Then decide if you still want to work together. Kent Charleston looked at the document I had placed in his hands. It wasn't a contract for Caden Enterprises. It was a single sheet of paper. Notice of immediate resignation, Andrew Sanders. Attached, independent consultancy proposal for Charleston Industries. Kent read it twice. The fury in his eyes from Eugene's intrusion slowly faded, replaced by a shark-like grin. He looked up at me, tapping the paper. You're walking away? Right now? Mr. Charleston, I said, my voice steady. I built the logistics framework for Tina's company. I know your supply chain needs better than I know my own apartment. But I cannot deliver excellence while babysitting a man-child. If you sign with Caden Enterprises today, you aren't hiring me. You're financing Eugene's ego. I leaned in. Hire me directly as an external consultant. I'll build you an internal team for half the retainer fee you were about to pay Tina. No middleman. No drama. Just work. Kent didn't hesitate. He pulled a fountain pen from his jacket and signed the bottom of my proposal. You start Monday, Kent said, standing up and shaking my hand. My secretary will validate your parking. And Andrew? Get some ice for that face. I walked out of that meeting room not as an employee, but as a competitor. When I arrived back at the office to pack my things, the atmosphere was toxic. Tina and Eugene had returned. Eugene was sitting in my chair, feet up on my desk, eating a bagel. Tina stood by the window, looking frantic. When she saw me, she lunged. Andrew. Where the hell have you been? Kent's secretary said he left. Did you fix it? Did you get him to sign? I walked past her, grabbed a cardboard box, and started sweeping my personal items into it. No, Tina. Kent didn't sign with the company. You useless. Eugene mumbled, barely chewing his food. See, babe? I told you he was incompetent. He's probably sabotaging us because he's jealous of me. Shut up, Eugene, I said. It was the first time I'd ever spoken to him without a filter. The room went silent. Excuse me? Eugene stood up, his face flushing. I said shut up. You're a parasite. I turned to Tina. I resigned, Tina. Kent didn't sign with you because he thinks your boyfriend is a liability. And he's right. Tina looked struck. Resigned? You can't resign. We have a 5-year plan. You're my GM. I was your GM. Now, I'm just a guy you let get slapped in a client meeting. I picked up the box. I'm done, Tina. Good luck running this place with Mr. Territory here. If you walk out that door, Tina shrieked, her voice cracking, don't you dare think you can come crawling back. Eugene is going to step up. He's going to take your job and do it better. I stopped at the door and looked back. Eugene was puffing out his chest, trying to look executive. Tina looked terrified but was masking it with anger. I honestly hope he does, I said. Because then you'll see exactly what you've chosen. Part 2, The Exodus. The news of my departure hit the office like a bomb. I didn't have to poach anyone, they came to me. That night, my phone buzzed. It was Sarah, the head of sales. Is it true? You're out? Yeah. Starting my own firm. Take me with you. Eugene asked me to wash his car today. I'm not joking. By the end of the week, 3 of the top department heads had handed in their resignations. Tina was spiraling. She threatened lawsuits, she screamed about loyalty, but she had no legal standing. We were at-will employees, and she hadn't enforced non-competes because she trusted us like family. That was her fatal flaw. She thought family meant we would tolerate abuse. I set up Sanders Logistics in a small co-working space downtown. It wasn't glamorous, but it was quiet. No Eugene asking for location pins. No mandatory I love you texts. Just the grind. Kent Charleston kept his word. He funneled his logistics contracts to me. Because I knew the industry inside out, I started undercutting Tina's prices. Not by much, just enough. 3 months in, the cracks in Caden Enterprises started to show. I met an old colleague for drinks to get the gossip. It's a circus, he told me, shaking his head. Eugene is officially the GM now. He moved into your office. He spent $20,000 of company money redecorating it. He bought a massage chair and a minibar. Does he do any work? I asked. He tries. That's the worst part. He tries to assert dominance in meetings. He called the CEO of FedEx Buddy and told him to calm down during a negotiation. We lost the shipping contract. Tina is covering for him, saying he's just learning the ropes, but the revenue is down 40%. I swirled my drink. Let it burn. Part 3, The Desperation. 6 months later, I received a cease and desist letter. Tina was suing me for intellectual property theft and corporate espionage. It was a desperate Hail Mary. She claimed I had stolen proprietary client lists. I didn't need to steal a list. I was the list. The clients followed me because they liked me. I went to the deposition with my lawyer. Tina was there, looking thin and pale. She had bags under her eyes that makeup couldn't hide. Eugene was next to her, wearing a suit that was too shiny, looking around the room like he was a mob boss. Mr. Sanders, Tina's lawyer began, did you solicit clients using confidential data? No, I replied calmly. I simply answered the phone when they called me complaining that the new GM, Mr. Larson, had forgotten to schedule their shipments. Eugene slammed his hand on the table. You're a liar. You sabotaged the software. Mr. Larson, sit down, the mediator snapped. He changed the passwords. Eugene yelled. I couldn't get into the system. I looked at him, pity in my eyes. Eugene, the password was admin 123. It's written on a sticky note on the monitor. You never looked because you don't know how to turn the server on. The deposition was a disaster for them. It revealed that under Eugene's leadership, Caden Enterprises had missed tax filings, lost 3 major accounts, and was currently being investigated by the Department of Labor for unpaid overtime. Tina looked at me across the table. For a second, the anger vanished, replaced by pure, unadulterated regret. She mouthed one word, help. I looked away. I wasn't her savior anymore. Part 4, The Collapse. The end came faster than I expected. I was at the annual logistics gala. It's a boring event where people in suits pat each other on the back, but it's necessary for networking. I was there with Kent Charleston. We were celebrating a record quarter. Then, Tina and Eugene arrived. It was painful to watch. Tina was wearing a dress she had worn 3 years ago. She used to buy a new designer gown for every gala. Eugene was drunk. Visibly drunk. He spotted me across the room. There he is. Eugene shouted, slurring his words. The room went quiet. The snake. The traitor. He stumbled toward me. Kent stepped in front of me, looking like a bouncer. Back off, son, Kent warned. You stole my wife's money. Eugene spat, pointing a shaky finger at me. We're broke because of you. You're broke, I said, my voice projecting clearly through the silent hall, because you treated a business like a piggy bank. You drained the operating capital to buy a Porsche, didn't you, Eugene? I saw the foreclosure notice on the company warehouse. It's public record. The crowd murmured. Tina rushed forward, grabbing Eugene's arm. Eugene, stop. Please. Let's go. Get off me. Eugene shoved Tina. She stumbled back, falling onto a waiter holding a tray of champagne glasses. The crash was deafening. Tina lay there in the broken glass and spilled alcohol, humiliated. Eugene didn't help her up. He looked at me, sneered, and fixed his tie. Whatever. This industry is trash anyway. He turned and walked out, leaving Tina on the floor. I didn't move to help her. I couldn't. That bridge wasn't just burned, it was nuked. But Kent's secretary, a kind woman, went over and helped Tina to her feet. Tina looked at me, mascara running down her face, and saw nothing but a stranger. Part 5, The Aftermath. 2 weeks later, Caden Enterprises filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The assets were auctioned off. I bought their office furniture for pennies on the dollar, mostly out of spite, but also because I needed desks for my expanding team. I heard the rest of the story through the grapevine. Once the money was gone, Eugene was gone. He didn't just leave, he cleaned out their joint personal account and took the car. Tina was left with massive debt, a ruined reputation, and a lease she couldn't pay. One rainy Tuesday, about a year after I had left, I was walking to my car after a late meeting. Andrew. I stopped. Tina was standing near the parking lot entrance. She looked like a ghost of the woman I used to admire. She was wearing generic clothes, her hair tied back in a messy bun. Tina, I nodded, unlocking my car. I wanted to say you were right, she said, her voice hollow. About everything. Eugene, he wasn't who I thought he was. He was exactly who he showed you he was, I corrected her. You just chose not to believe it. I lost everything, Andrew. The company, the house. I'm working as an assistant manager at a retail store now. She looked at me with desperate eyes. I know I messed up. But we made a great team once. If you have any openings, even entry level. I looked at the woman who had stood by and watched her boyfriend slap me. The woman who had told me to apologize to my abuser. I do have openings, I said. Her face lit up with hope. Really? I promise, I'll work so hard. But I can't hire you, I interrupted. Why? She whispered. Because I need people with good judgment, I said, opening my car door. And you proved you don't have any. I got in, started the engine, and drove away. As I merged onto the highway, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Kent. Dinner at 8? We need to discuss the expansion into Europe. I smiled. The rearview mirror was clear. No Eugene. No Tina. Just the road ahead. The end.